Do you want to know the best categories that you should sell in eBay? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about it. But if we're just meeting, my name is Charles, and my mission is to help 10,000 people create a full-time income online. So if that's you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I put out new videos. But with all that out of the way, we're going to get into the video. So before we get into it here, this list is not going to be in order, and I'm going to list out 5 categories, but that does not mean to go and sell through all 5 of these categories. I want you to just take this list, take 1 to 3 categories, and I want you to really learn those categories before you move on to another category. Actually, you should start with one category, know everything about that category, and then move on to another category. I want you to know everything about that category. I want you to know when the new release of whatever you're going to sell comes out. I want you to know how far the market drops when the new item comes out. I want you to know if there's an item comes out. I want you to be able to look at something and say, oh yeah, that's the 6th model. So that's what we're aiming for here. You're going to be a master of one category, and then you're going to move on to another category, master that one, and then you're going to move on to another category, and then you're going to stop there. Stop at 3, and you're going to crush it on eBay. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the list. So the first category we're going to talk about today is going to be clothes. You can find clothes pretty much anywhere. Thrift stores. You can go across the street to your neighbor's house, and they're going to be giving out, they'll probably give you clothes. You can go to garage sales, you can get clothes for pennies on the dollar. You can go to outlet stores, you can go to department stores on clearance items, get those for pennies on the dollar. So you can get clothes in an abundance. Now, I'm not going to tell you what kind of clothes to sell. It's not that kind of video, but you can really get started in the clothes market. They are very easy to find, and you can do it in a really high volume. Now, that being said, I want you to only focus. That being said, you'll need to do the research on the best brands. I want you to focus on only clothes that is going to sell you, that you're going to make $20 or more on. That's profit. So item, how much you paid to get it plus minus the sell fee. Make sure that you're focusing on clothes that are going to give you profit over $20, because if you're selling for less than that, you're making almost minimum wage. So we got to get that average cost per sale higher, and that's why you're going to focus with clothes. So keep that in mind when you go through Goodwill. As you're looking through clothes, if you go through Goodwill, as you're looking through clothes, make sure that you're only picking items that are going to net you $20 or more. Number 2, and this goes along with number 1, and you see it in the thumbnail, it's going to be shoes. And all the things I just said about clothes, same can be said for shoes. You can get them in abundance. Everybody has feet, unless you don't. If you don't, I'm sorry. But most people have feet. Most people outgrow shoes. There's a lot of people, there is a lot of people who buy shoes, they won't even wear them. I have my cousin, he buys all these shoes, he doesn't even wear them. It's like a shoe store, and a lot of these shoes don't even have like scuff marks on the bottom. This guy just like collects shoes, and that's what a lot of people does. That's why they're a good thing to sell. So again, I'm not going to go over which brands you should focus on. Maybe I'll give you one. Let's say Nike. Nikes are pretty good, but you can focus on basketball shoes. You can focus on dress shoes. You can focus on, it for the ladies, high heels. Whatever you focus on, shoes, shoes, shoes. And they're not going to go out of style anytime soon. And again, you have collectors that you can get to. If you're picking the right shoes, you can average over $100 per sale in profit. So that's why shoes is on my thumbnail, and that's why shoes is on this list. So the number 3 category that we're going to talk about today is going to be books. Now, if you're noticing a trend here, everything that I've mentioned so far, you can get a lot of, and there is also a lot of. So, yes, there's going to be a lot of competition to get them, but I feel that there's enough room in the ocean for everybody. And books is no different from any of those. Again, we're going to focus on books that average over $20 per sale. So, those are going to be mainly textbooks, but there are other books that you can find, vintage books that you can find if you know books well, you can find vintage books. But textbooks, if you get them during college, textbooks for college kids are expensive. That was actually the first item that I started flipping when I started flipping. Back in college, I used to buy my textbooks from Amazon, use them through the year, and then I would turn them into the bookstore, the on-campus bookstore, and I would usually, get $40, $50 per book. So I'm buying them for pennies on Amazon, literally 1 penny on Amazon, plus shipping. How did they make money with that? Anyway, 1 penny on Amazon plus shipping, and then take that to the bookstore after I've completed my class, get some money back. So that was my first flip. They're easy to flip, and there's a lot of books that you can get. So books is going to be the next category. Before we get into the next two categories, if you're getting any value out of this video, make sure to hit that like button. But anyway, the next category is going to be Apple products. Cell phones, AirPods, yes. People will buy used AirPods. People will get them, they'll sanitize them, they'll stick them in there, they're good to go. So, Apple Watches, iPads, all these Apple products are very good at sales. We're specifically going to say Apple. Sorry to the Android users again, this is not to start a war, but Apple products, they depreciate a lot slower than Samsung, than any other Android, any Android. So we want to focus on Apple. And if you're using the right method, you can easily do $300-400 per day with Apple products. And you can set it up to where you don't even have to go looking for it. You don't have to go to Facebook Marketplace and lowball people. You can set it up to where people are bringing items to you. I mean, if you feel comfortable with it, you can stand outside of like one of the eco places, wait till they get a quote on the phone, and then try to beat that quote, if that's your thing. I'm not endorsing that. I'm just saying you can do that, and you're seeing what they get, or you're seeing the quote that they get, and then you can beat it. So, I mean, it's kind of creepy, but we're here to build a business. So that's one way you can go. But there are methods where you don't have to go sourcing. You can have people bring those products to you. So the last category that we're going to discuss today, and if you know me, you probably already knew the answers, is going to be video games. So right now, since America's in pretty much a stay-at-home order, video games are selling like hotcakes. I mean, as soon as you list it, if you can see my store, as soon as I list video games, my sell-through rate is through the roof. I'm shipping out daily. And with what's going on in the world right now, people are staying home, which means video games, the prices are going even higher. Now, with the sell-through rate so high, it is hard to keep up with video games, but I do video games because I love video games. I can tell you the difference between a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, a Dreamcast, a Nintendo Switch, a GameCube, a Nintendo Wii. Well, you don't really have to know video games as well, but you should really know who Mario is. You should know who Zelda is. If you think Zelda is the person with the sword, you're off, okay? You should know video games, but even if you don't, they're selling so good right now, it doesn't even matter. You can get lucky. You just gotta watch your prices, and video games are gonna sell through the roof. And before we get out of here, I'm gonna leave you with a quick question of the day. Which category do you sell in? I look forward to seeing your answers, and I'll see you in the next video.